that feeling. There is no words on the face of, there's nothing. Because I stopped in the middle of the street, like literally, I think I called Najma like right afterwards. Like, yo. And Thanksgiving, Carter was born.
Woo woo!
And my granddaughter is disrespectful. Like disrespectful. But I love her. And my grandma, who is 95, gets to see her great-great-grand.
God bless. God bless.
So I can't ask for a better gift. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So my grandma is my heart. So we're talking about fathers. Okay. My parents are still married. Valentine's Day will make 50 years.
Oh, 50?
And and I'm 40 in September. So, which is interesting. The youngest grandfather ever. One day, recently, I was in the back of my dad's car, and he picked up my mom. And it's the first time I've ever, for a while, been in the back as an adult in your parents' vehicle while they're driving, right? Anybody who's ever experienced that shit is the weirdest thing ever, right? And I'm watching them, and they're having an argument. But they're not arguing. They're arguing about the solution. Because he has a solution to the problem, and she has a solution to the problem. So they're going through the pros and cons of each other's solution, which ended up them betting chores for, which solution is going to work better, right? And I'm like, I want that shit. You know what I mean? So this is to my daughter. I wrote this before I knew she was pregnant. Actually, 2 weeks before. So what do I tell my daughter about the past I've lived, about the people I've hurt, about a world that would quicker see her as a body part and render her existence useless, than to find her woman beyond her anatomy against a pimp society? Do I say that misogyny is in direct correlation to the lack of love we men have for ourselves? Just scared boys too undeveloped to find balance, to stop letting our ego hijack our mouths? How it is the easiest thing these days to put a woman in a box, to tell her that her body is Visa card, God pays credit, and all others in cash. How do we think it's pussy to promote her divinity secretly feels it's okay as long as you don't do it to the one you love? Some have said that all I can do is teach her how to respect herself and her emotions and the emotions of those around her, have argued that it's just a joke, and I found myself caught between falling victim to the way things are and wanting to say something against it, almost like an ant trying to argue with the wind, trying to claim his existence against a machine that only throws your wrench back at you. She's 17 and wants to know about the world, found herself when she was 10 wanting breasts, told me it was mathematically sound that she should have grown breasts when her age hit double digits. Asked me how could she be mathematically incorrect. I couldn't make my baby girl believe she was fine right where she was. Somehow, Camille's friends have gotten in And though I try to keep my daughter from the media as much as possible, I struggle with wanting to inform her of social ills and wanting to protect her against those same ills. Her last poem was about the sunshine, how it must have done something wrong to want to shine so bright now. I want to tell her she may meet men that will never see her. Tell her that it took me a while before I could feel comfortable at just being a woman's friend, at just finding a common ground, how I've been carbon copied into a low-budget version of any rapper that finds it hard to love himself. Desensitized and unable to admit that we have no clue how to begin healing. But women are always smarter than men. They are our first teachers, and sometimes our last. I want to tell her that because I am a poet, it makes me no better than the rest, does not make my blame overlooked, that my talent cannot save me from the flaws that once called my character home. The conversations with fellow poets about how many exes we shared, how we never recite the poems we have wrote to them for fear it may be the best we have ever written. Too ashamed to give them credit for inspiring us beyond our humdrum dishevel of selves. All the secrets we keep about everybody's business here, about knowing things and trying not to know things. The double standard and the marginalization of people and their voices, I have watched it, took part in it, whether willing or unwilling, a sly comment here, a hand dap, or a cold smile there. From birth, we are trained to build, destroy, and run. Not trained to know what to do with our anatomy. Discovering masturbation is possibly the only training most men get. There is still no excuse. This poem is not an offering of one, simply a father worried about the world his daughter will discover and the lack of responsibility I have shown. It is a reprogramming to the mind of men with razor-hook smiles, choreographed emotions that know the amount of words it takes to take a woman out of her dress. It is a prayer with blood on hands, a receipt left in wallets. It is a tongue that is tired of speaking, a man trying to be better than the norm. It is a father that will have to watch the light go out of his daughter's eyes when she realizes that daddy isn't Superman, just a man. That at times has been a nigger, and as normal as they come, and as misunderstood as anyone can be. I tell her that she was witnessing the reprogramming of a man.